concerned are you about his play lately? Like, there has been a lot of turnovers, and he's been not as good as he was in the first 50, 60 games.
I'll tell you what, I am not concerned at all, because this is Brodie's way. He's consistently inconsistent. This is his thing. You know, I'm tired of, like, feeling something about it. And, like, he's got that deadpan face, too, much like Bennett. I don't think he really cares either. He's gonna play good. Like, I don't know. He made a lot of shitty mistakes in the last 2 games, caused a lot of headaches.
Because I have some worry, because like last season he made a lot of mistakes. This season at the start, first 50, 60 games, he was so consistent actually. Like that, we both talked about it, how surprised we were that he's not doing it.
That was inconsistent of him, of being consistent.
Yeah, exactly. But my worry is he tired? Because he's playing a lot of minutes with Gio. Is he tired? Does he need a break?
There's that. There could be some shit going on in his personal life. You know, you can all speculate, but another reason to not be concerned is by looking at the depth that we have on defense.
So you think... But so you're saying you're not concerned because you would replace him if he doesn't play well?
Yeah, most definitely.
And I'm guessing you mean Anderson up to the
top
first
line,
pair.
yeah. In fact, maybe even just putting Brodie on the third, pair him up with Stone, who should be primed for a comeback pretty quick here.
What do you think of Fantenberg now that you've seen him a couple games?
Decent. More talented than Prout.
Yeah. That's not saying too much, but
no, it's not saying too much. But like, there's
definitely
not really
a step up.
Not as much the offense as Shillington, maybe, or doesn't show as much offensive potential. He did it on Devils. He was going in for a rush. I think he got to the net for a shot. That was the most offensive scene. He's wired a couple good shots. He assisted.
Yeah, he got an assist.
He got an assist. That's right.
One thing I like about him compared to our other D is he is a bit more physical.
Yeah.
Which is a nice change of pace, because we, depending who we match up with in the playoffs, maybe we need speed, maybe we need skill, maybe we need physicality.
Definitely.
So now we have some options.
Gio, Hamnick are probably the most physical on the back line there. So
yeah, and Gio, like, he's actually not that physical anymore. Like he was when he was in his 20s, but now he's more of like a
speed,
like a skilled offensive defenseman.
Yeah, that's true.
But it works for him. Like, it's not a negative.
No.
So
yeah, it's interesting. I don't know, man. I like Brodie. I hope he stays in the lineup and turns around. But pretty much anything can happen.
Yeah, and we talked about Brodie being inconsistent.
Yeah.
This year, our second pair of Hamonic and Hanifin, that is like the textbook of consistency.
Yeah.
Those guys just go out there and play. You don't hear their names much. They don't get scored on very often. And they just plug along, blocking shots.
Yeah.
It's really impressive how consistent they've been.
True, and at the beginning of the year, I thought Hanifin, a lot of offense was tied to his name, but it's not really the case.
It's just because he has a cool name, Noah Hanifin.
Yeah,
he sounds like he should be an offensive D. If his name was
Hamilton,
or even something like I don't know, Joe Block.
Joe Block. That's Hamnick's nickname.
Yeah, the Hammer.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So, one last question before we move on to my favorite segment, Meet a Mascot. My question is, we won 7 in a row, and it seemed like we were just unstoppable. Then we lost 4 in a row. Now we've won 2. Are we officially back on track?
The answer to that question, Nate, is no. And I'll tell you why. Please do, Daniel. Okay, Vegas was a good game, but like it could have easily not turned out good if Vegas stayed strong, or maybe even if Fleury was in net.
Or if it wasn't a back-to-back for them.
Or back-to-back. Because that their moment of offense, of taking over, although it was short-lived, it was pretty scary. So Vegas, great team. Devils, they beat up shitty team, and they had Calgary on the ropes going to third. I shouldn't say on the ropes, but they surprised them.
I would say on the ropes if you're down by one going into the third.
So then I took some kind of third period magic, which is uncommon, and they came back. So this is the start of them. This is bouncing back up with the right foot forward.
Yeah, a step in the right direction.
By no means is all the problems solved. I think Brodie's inconsistency kind of highlights what potentially could go bad. Because it's not just Brodie. It's like if any of the players... I mean, not long ago, Monahan... Both Gaudreau and Monahan's name were being dragged around for not producing, even though Gaudreau's been playing solid. I'd say these last 2 weeks, but just not producing. He's been getting tons of shots. Monahan, different story. Monahan really wasn't playing great. He was giving up, losing a lot of puck battles, some giveaways. So that I understood more. And true, Gaudreau doesn't really play defense all that well, but that's not really his thing.
He's definitely not a defensive expert.
Yeah, so when the top line has to play D, it doesn't seem like Monahan wants to try too hard on D. Gaudreau doesn't want to try too hard on D. Lindholm's kind of skidding around, but then they're not producing points and possibly getting scored on.
Yeah. So,
does that answer your question?
I guess the conclusion is it's a step in the right direction, but we have to take both of these games sort of with a little bit of a grain of salt.
Yeah, we have to see where this leads from here. Rangers,
yes,
should be a pushover. We don't know.
Well, hopefully they're tanking. And I think they are. So
yeah, they're tanking.
So then that should be a win.
Winnipeg, they're playing so-so these days, but that's a good test. Deadly. Yeah, Winnipeg's going to be a good test, followed by Columbus.
Well, Winnipeg's a good test also because they're a heavy team. So it's a team it's don't...
like Vegas.
It's similar to Vegas, a team we don't match up against that great to see if Gaudreau and Monahan can produce against another top team.
I think the season split. I know we beat Winnipeg at least once. But whatever. We should move on to meet a mascot. Hello.
Hello, and welcome to Meet a Mascot. Today we travel to St. Louis to meet Louis, the mascot of the St. Louis Blues. Louis was introduced on October 10th, 2007. Louis is a blue polar bear and wears a Blues jersey with his name on the back and the numbers 00. Louis has earned the unofficial nickname Victory Dog because of his generic mascot animal appearance.
Anthropomorphic dog.
Really, that's all I got on Louis. I tried to find more, but he is the most generic, memorable mascot I've ever seen.
There is nothing controversial about his face, about his appearance, anything about him.
No, there is no fights with fans, no pies to the face.
I have a feeling he quietly skulks around the arena, scuttles around, maybe waves to a fan, hugs a kid, and then goes back to a den.
He's the gentleman's mascot.
Yeah, well, that's St. Louis's mascot.
And I'm a little disappointed because I really thought the Blues would have
someone tough, man, or something tough.
I really want to see a non-anthropomorphic, so I was hoping it would be like a blue, like the musical note, a giant musical note would be the mascot. That was my hope.
Well, they can anthropomorphize that.
See, I still think anthropomorphic is animals as humans.
No, it's not. It's giving human characteristics to anything.
So a chair can be anthropomorphic?
Put a smiley, a happy face on it. Yep. Definitely. And be like, hey, I'm a chair. Please sit on me. I don't know.
Okay, well, I wanted an anthropomorphic music note as the mascot. And I'm a little disappointed they have some crappy blue bear.
Yeah, he's pretty crappy. But get this for a mascot instead. Keith Kachuk.
An anthropomorphic Keith Kachuk?
Should deck him out in all blue stuff and let him go run around the fans yelling at people and the other team.
Yeah, that could work. I think like he's probably big enough that he's mascot size already, so there's no need for additional costuming.
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
Okay, let's get off Louis and let's go to something a little more relevant and around the league.
Around the league, I was big time plays by goaltenders caught my eye this week. There was a couple of big shutouts. Grice, who's been playing excellent all year for the Islanders, he shut out Blue Jackets. It was midweek. Blue Jackets have won since then. In fact, they won a big one against... Do you remember?
No, I don't follow them that close, but I know they've been winning lately. Right after the trade, they lost a few, but then they won most recently.
Yeah, I mean, they have to. They put all their eggs into the basket this year. So that was a big win for them.
So good job, Grice.
But yes, Grice playing awesome. The other one I had, Peter Mrazek. This was good. He played an outstanding game against Avs. And it feels like that's probably the turning point or the shutdown point for the Avs. They're giving up their playoff hopes.
Yeah, they're falling a bit out of it, and Carolina keeping themselves right in the thick of it.
Playing 8-2 in the last 10. Pretty strong.
Yeah, that's really strong. And it's kind of interesting sort of case study. You have Carolina, who did nothing at the trade deadline, and you have Columbus, who did a lot. And which gamble is actually going to pay off more?
Yeah, they're right in the midst of the battle, so that'll be something to keep our eye on.
And if Carolina does make the playoffs, I want to see that celebration.
Bunch of jerks. Then Ben Bishop's got a little bit of shutout streak going. What's that, 3 games?
Yeah, I have the stat here. Has 230 minutes and 53 seconds.
And I just learned that it's broken up, though. It's not consecutive starts. Well, for him, but like he didn't play against the Chicago loss where they lost 2-1.
So like he came in mid-game or something like that? Or you mean like there were games in between?
So he had 2 shutouts, and then who's their backup? Who's the other guy?
I don't know.
So then he started, and they lost. And so then Bishop came back in against Buffalo on Tuesday and shut out.
Right, but that's still a streak.
Yeah, but you would think since he shut out, he should start again. It wasn't even back-to-back.
Well, as a goalie, I still respect it.
And this is the wild one here against the Wild, where he had his shutout streak still going, by the way, but then injures himself, and I'll quote, injures. Upper body injury, doesn't come back for a third, and that's when Minnesota scores. But only the 1 goal.
I respect it. If you've got a streak going, just ride it out as long as you can. You know Minnesota's going to push in the third. Stay in the dressing room. They still got the win. And his streak stays intact.
Crafty.
Very crafty. Like, if I was him, I'd play 10 minutes next game, move up the list. Because I have the list here, and he's 25th right now at 230. If he can extend it just by like 10 minutes, he'll jump up all the way to like top 20.
He wants that.
And there's some interesting names here. You know who's at number 16 for the shutout streak?
Who?
Brian Elliott.
No.
241 minutes.
What year?
11,
St.
12.
Louis?
Yeah, St. Louis, 2011, 12. Luongo was slightly above him.
Man, he was pretty damn good in his St. Louis years. I remember when Flames first got him, I was kind